World-renowned MGTOW YouTuber, TFM, the person who says women are children, the person who calls himself a monkey but shows a chimpanzee. And chimpanzees are actually apes, not monkeys. But this guy, he supposedly works in an office. He supposedly went to the military and works at this super big job, but he doesn't know the difference. Seems questionable. But back to the whole children are women thing, or women are children, or vice versa. You know, many people accuse TFMers or people who go MGTOW of being secretly gay. And I have to think of this like, think about it. If women are children, the only people who have adult relationships are men, gay men. Like, have you ever thought of that? The only people, according to the whole idea that women are children, the only people who are not dating children, who are actually in adult relationships, are gay men. And you wonder why people ask, are people in the MGTOW movement gay? I mean, come on, with that whole idea or ideology, you have to question. I mean, just saying, man. But let me give you some background history of TFM. Now, one of the things I could respect about TFM is he took a young girl under his wing called JD. And the reason why he gave her 4 fucking hours of interview is because he says that JD is suffering from this mental disorder and that she has she's nervous and whatever. And he's trying to get over, well, she's trying to get over being nervous and being awkward around crowds and whatever. I don't know how talking to 2 random people on the internet instead of like talking to a crowd or whatever, or maybe just facing your fears in reality won't help this out. But whatever. It's like a nice gesture, even though you could say that this is a sign of gynocentrism, or whatever the hell you call it, where he would never do this for a male. He would never do this for a male YouTuber, give 4 hours. So this guy always talking about gynocentrism. So, except he shows himself, and also DDJ shows himself, as some of the most gynocentric people when you give a woman 4 hours. But hey, you know, I'm just thinking, hey, this guy, he's for the people. He's for people with mental illnesses and for people trying to get over their setups and like maybe even problems with their mind and whatever, like mental disabilities. That's cool. That's very nice.
And that was a textbook example of female nature. And I was speaking in regards to that. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is a MGTOW channel, you shouldn't have women on the channel at all. No women allowed, you know, no girls, whatever. I actually think it's important to have women on the show to demonstrate female nature firsthand. And I stand by that. And in fact, JD demonstrates female nature in this email because she's taking things, stringing together a narrative in order to be the victim of something that doesn't even exist. That's a very woman thing to do. So thank you, JD, for being an excellent example of female nature. So even when you have the best of intentions, and you genuinely care, and you're trying to help someone, they're going to string a narrative together to make themselves the victim. Okay, so the last thing she says is, I take pleasure.
So you have the JD simping monkey right here talk about how he was betrayed by a woman who he gave like 4 hours with on a podcast. And I saw that podcast. It was just atrocious. It wasn't even a debate. It was pretty much MGTOW 101 for his channel. I mean, come on, man. But hey, you know, I could respect that. He decided to help out a young lady because she was going through some type of mental disorder or mental illness where she was shy and awkward, and he decided to be a parent and like man up and stuff like that, only to get his heart crushed, you know, heartbroken MGTOW stuff, you know, MGTOW stuff. And so, come to my shock, this guy had a video called Down for Whatever. So here's the little video down for whatever, posted a month ago. I kind of overlooked it at this point, and I turn it on.
From Fox News. Woman with Down syndrome competes in Miss Minnesota pageant, wins Spirit of Miss USA. And hold on, wait.
All right, so let's stop this right here. So these people are MGTOW. These people are walking away from women. So what do? They decide to get in a pageant that is full of women. You know, pageants where you judge a person on merit, beauty, style, talent, all that stuff. It's just a vain parade. Just for women. Something just for women. It's basically the equivalent of a person who is like a macho man who just decides to only use female bathrooms. Stuff like that. So they're supposed to be Mr. Walk away from women. Why are you caring about women? So why would you care about a all-female beauty pageant? Come on.
Wait, I think I have this muted. I almost want you to hear her voice. She sounds exactly like what you expect.
So how is this funny? Like, how is this funny? Like, is it teasing people with Down syndrome like their thing? Do they get their kicks off that? Teasing people with Down syndrome? And by the way, women who have Down syndrome, like, people who had Down syndrome in the 1980s only lived to 25. Now, they upped it to 60 years, but they only lived to 25, and a person with Down syndrome can have no kids. So out of this whole gynocentric system, a female with Down syndrome has the least privilege in this gynocentric system. It's basically the equivalent of pushing a person who's in a wheelchair down some stairs.
She is an absolute potato, and she has the goblin face. She is not. This is like the diverse.
She doesn't even know where the fuck she's at. She's high on cocaine. They have to walk her to where she needs to go.
Well, here's the thing.
Really, DDJ? She's high on cocaine. So basically, DDJ and the JD simping monkey have decided to punch down, no pun intended. Literally, they're not even chasing after kids. They're chasing after a kid with Down syndrome. This is like the equivalent of stealing candy from a baby.
No way in hell that she is winning any beauty pageants. She is there for the same reason they put the fucking Make-A-Wish kid in the Super Bowl to run a touchdown.
They are literally insulting children at this point.
During halftime.
Right.
They give the Make-A-Wish kid a ball, he runs and spikes a touchdown, and everybody claps, and then he goes off and dies of leukemia.
Wow. So, let me get this straight. DDJ, who had problems with his kid and getting custody of his kid, is allowing the JD simping monkey to literally tease children with not only Down syndrome, but leukemia. And these are the people who's supposed to be our leaders. Or at least supposed to fight the gynocentric world. Yep. Pretty classy.
Like nobody's gonna be like, oh man, this kid what an amazing football player. He ran a touchdown. No, it was a Make-A-Wish bullshit. He was just playing pretend. That's what this woman is. This woman with.
Well, you know, maybe the kid could have did like Pee-wee, but he's a person with leukemia. He's going to die. So you can't do this one good thing for a person with leukemia.
Down syndrome. She's not winning shit. She has fucking Down syndrome. That goblin face is not. Nobody's into goblin face. And again, there's a biological evolutionary reason for this. Men are attracted to youth and fertility and beauty because they're signs of health. Right. The reason why Down syndrome makes you look like some podling from the Dark Crystal is because you're not supposed to reproduce with Downies.
You can't. Anyway, I mean, nature stops you from reproducing with Down syndrome people by making sure women with Down syndrome do not have kids. But, you know, basically, again, it's like pushing a person in a wheelchair down some stairs. For what? To fight the system?
Right.
You actually can't reproduce with them. They have an extra chromosome.
See, the guy in the background, he knows science. And keep in mind that both of these people are supposed to be, well, TFM, he says he works in an office or whatever. I don't know what the hell DDJ does. Oh, wait, I think he was like a person who worked in law who helped, like, destroy or, like, take away children from his fellow male brethren. So basically, DDJ is a fucking traitor. But hey. And he was a formal SJW. He admits that.
There you go, TFLers. You now have your
There you go.
date.
There you go. You grab some podlings. What are like those little the crab monsters from the Dark Crystal that take the podlings? I haven't seen that. I don't know why that movie popped in my head all of a sudden. I haven't seen the movie in years. But now I'm picturing these crab monsters grabbing these fucking Downy women. Being like, oh, we're taking you to the TFL subreddit.
Oh, okay, wow. Well, it would make sense that they're taking them to the TFL subreddit since all of them are retards that follow. So hey, that makes sense.
Right.
All you.
Oh, they closed the TFL subreddit.
No,
They're down for it.
They're down for whatever.
So one of the most creepiest, and this guy is going to laugh for a long period of time. One of the most creepiest laughs I ever heard in my life. And none of this is funny, by the way. I hope they're just faking a laugh. Just sound like hyenas.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh my God, I'm in tears.
That's going to be the title of the segment. Down with
Yeah, it should be. It should be down for whatever.
Down for whatever.
Alright, I'm gonna stop this.
I'm back.
Oh, the segment is salvaged.
I'm back.
Oh my God.
I'm back. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, and she's straight butterface. I mean, like if you just covered her face, she's got a good body, but yeah, nature gives women who have these sorts of conditions, they make them unattractive on purpose because they don't want men wasting their sperm on them. They're communicating. Do not reproduce with this.
Okay, and even if she was attractive with Down syndrome, it's not like she can have children. But then again, this just shows you the personality of TFM.
Man. Ooh, man, I'm still recovering. Like, I gotta, like, I'm like oxygen deprived. I need to, like, breathe.
Yeah, you were oxygen deprived at birth. That's why, I mean, who the fuck would laugh at this?
Whew.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I haven't laughed that hard in, like, such a long time. Yeah, you
It's
know.
gonna be fucking awesome though when you actually put the segment title up.
God damn, alright. She won the Spirit of Miss USA. Yeah, she's not gonna win the fucking actual... That was a fucking consolation prize.
So, you all are tripping because, I mean, I get if she won the whole pageant. That was probably like the elderly couple in a dance contest and you're glad that they're moving. But she didn't even win the pageant. She won the Spirit of USA. And again, these men going their own way, these MGTOWs, are worrying about an all-female pageant. Who gives a damn?
It's like when you get last place and they give you the fucking participation trophy of, like, you know, had the most fun. Like that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure TFM and DDJ would run to you when you got last place and would probably just tease you and take your lunch money. Bullies.
But this winter spirit of Miss USA. Oh, God. But whatever. I guess that's what glory holes are for.
Congratulations, you were continent.
You showed up.
You showed up.
As long as you had fun, you won.
Right.
Okay. That was, man, that was...
You didn't drool all over everybody.
That was great. That was...
Wow. Wow. DDJ is trash. And again, DDJ is a person who told me that his Discord is so sensitive that it's a safe space for men. So, yeah. You know.
That was awesome. All right, so our last article, we can't beat that article. We should have put that article out.
All right, now this awful video ends, and it just shows you how these people are just bitter old men who are embittered and who will go after anybody but the true people holding men down. They're, of course, MGTOW or MGTOW. They're, of course, MGTOW because, you know, they think women are children, but yet you as a man can't parent your children to do what you say. So, yeah, just, you know, just shows you the weakness and sadness of the whole MGTOW leadership when it comes to them. I don't know about others, but when it comes to them, they're absolute failures. So please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you disagree with me, whatever. Just, you know, stuff like that. And please, just don't dislike this video without leaving a comment, you know.